Hi, this is Janey, Imaani, and welcome to Emotional Awareness. It's hurt people that hurt people. We inflict pain on others the most when we are deeply struggling with ourselves. We often put jealous, angry or controlling people and people who are hurting or in pain as though they are in two different groups, but often it is the hurt person that becomes jealous or aggressive and then causes pain to the people around them. Like the friend who can never be happy for your accomplishments, and in your mind you've probably written her off as envious, but your accomplishments make her feel small and unworthy, and that's why it's so hard for her to be happy for you. Or you can take the angry father who comes home and takes it out on his wife and kids, when really he is in deep pain and wishes he had done more with his life. Hurt people end up hurting others all the time. Are we supposed to have empathy or help those who are hurting us just because they are in pain? No, and especially not if you have become a victim of their pain. Even empathy has boundaries. We can't allow others to harm us just because they are going through a hard time. But if you are in a position where you know how to separate yourself and not get too resentful or frustrated, then you could try. Because the hardest people to love are usually the ones who need it the most. You would have to look beyond what they are saying and doing and what they are trying to communicate. You would have to look beyond their words and see what their fears are. Like, say if you have a family friend who doesn't stop talking about himself and a conversation with him is just draining. So if you believed in investing in that relationship, instead of seeing him as annoying, you could see him as struggling. And then naturally you would come across as more compassionate, which would be more healing for him than if you appeared frustrating. It takes a long time to help hurt people. I remember when I worked with a paedophile, and instead of shaming him like what most of us would want to do, I had to help him. And so I told him that I believed he was a worthy person and that he was more than what he did to that little girl. I remember he just completely broke down and cried and told me that nobody had ever seen him with respect in that way. And from that day on, our sessions, he sort of started opening up more and slowly started seeing the mistakes himself, and I really didn't have to tell him. So when people are no longer fighting for their worth, they can see their own mistakes that they made themselves, and that is when change begins to happen. And I think this is where it gets tricky and confusing for people, because if we start thinking if everybody has a good reason for all the bad things that they do, then what is evil, what is punishable, what is bad? And the truth is that we will never know the answers to those questions. But we like to separate people into clear-cut groups because it makes it easier for us to understand. But in reality, it's much more complicated than that. And when we can afford to, we should try and see past their shortcomings and see them as hurting instead. But the real question is, who are we hurting? People can be highly destructive. We inflict pain to the people around us all the time, especially to those we have power over, like our children or spouses or employees or siblings. So say if you're insecure about your education level, if you're unaware of it, then you might find it really hard to be happy at your brother's graduation, or worse still, you put him down in indirect ways. Sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it. When we don't examine ourselves, we become highly dangerous to the people around us. So it's really important for us to know what our insecurities are, what makes us feel small. We should uncover our traumas so that we will make a safer environment for our loved ones that way. And one of the most courageous and difficult things we do in life is to look at ourselves. And that's why this whole series is called Emotional Awareness. What we're trying to do is provide a language and framework for the emotions that impact us on a daily basis, because only if we understand it can we begin to work on it. And you know, the truth is that what's harder than looking at who caused pain to us is looking at who we cause pain to, because we are all hurt people that hurt people. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe and share, and take care. Bye.